On the topic of YouTube, because you mentioned right at the start, you went to drama school.
Yeah.
What was your intention with going to drama school? Like, what were you doing back then? Because obviously YouTube wouldn't have been really as big of a thing back then.
Yeah, I think that it was just, for me, I just loved kind of entertaining, and I loved acting, I loved comedy. And when you're young and you're like, as a little kid, you want to be like a police officer or a kind of like a firefighter or a rocket scientist. Like for me, it was always an actor. I've always wanted to just get into acting and get into comedy.
Sure.
And and soon as I finished, I kind of like, I went to Croydon College and I did 2 years of performing arts, and I got a GNVQ in that.
Nice.
And then I did 2 years in Kingston College, performing arts, in BTEC National Diploma.
Wow.
And I wasn't doing it so I can say, oh yeah, I've got a GNVQ, or like that. I don't think that means anything. Yeah, I mean, no offense if you've got a GNVQ, you're a bit gassed. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I just kind of did it to just put myself into in that environment and just learn and meet new people and just kind of like, just for myself, just kind of improve myself, I guess. And I think when I went to drama school, the thing is, like, all my life everyone's saying, oh, you're so funny, yeah, but there's a difference of being funny but then being able to act and be funny while acting,
right?
And I think drama school, when I went to RDS, that was that kind of like, how shall I say, the moment where I realized, oh my god, I there's still so much to learn. Like, even though I thought that, I've got my craft right, but you will always build and you will always learn something new. And that was, and one of my teachers was Tom Hardy as well. Tom Hardy, yeah, it's a true story. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, because he basically, my tutor, his name is David Whitworth, and he's been there for, I think that was his 20th year. I wasn't even supposed to go to that drama school. Basically, what happened was I was in Kingston College. It was like one of the last week before it ended. And my teacher was like, what are you going to do next? I was like, I don't know. And to be honest, all I could really think about is, I think like the new Metal Gear Solid was out. So that was the only thing for my future at that moment of time. And then he was like, you should really think of, like, past, like, when you complete the game, what you're going to do after. I was like, oh shit, he's got a point. And then he was like, oh, why didn't you go to a drama school? It's better than uni, because with uni, it's like, if you want to get into acting, I think it's like 90% written work.
Right.
And just writing's long. So he said, go to a drama school. And then RDS was like a really small drama school. I think it only has 17 students or something.
Right.
And he called up David Whitworth, who was in charge of the drama school, and he basically said, look, I've got a really talented a young kind of pupil that doesn't know what he wants to do next. I just want you to see him. So David basically said, look, we've got 17 spaces. It's all filled. Like, can't really do anything now. It's a bit late. So my tutor then, Carlos, he basically said, please just give him a chance. And he was like, all right, just tell him to come tomorrow and learn a Shakespeare piece. So Carlos like, look, you've got like 24 hours to learn something that's funny and Shakespeare, and you have to kind of perform in front of this guy named David Whitworth, yeah? So I was like, all right, why not, yeah? Banter. So next day I went there. I did it.
What did you learn? What Shakespeare?
I think it was something from the Comedy of Errors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I did that, and David was just really quiet, and then he sat me down and he goes, well, obviously, we usually like send you away and then we'll get in contact with you if you've got the part or not. But I'll be honest with you, throughout my 20 years, we've only had like a certain amount of pupils and we don't go over. But this is the 1 year that I'm going to make an exception, and we're going to,
wow.
we're going to allow you to, basically I'm saying I'm sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen one. And I got in, and Tom Hardy used to be taught by David Whitworth. And because this was David's last year, Tom decided to come back and take time out of his busy schedule and he was already big then. Like, obviously now he's like extremely like
big, and
yeah. Now he's like next
all
level
relative,
big.
but yeah.
He came down and he just started talking and teaching us about acting and camera work in Hollywood. And he was very intense. We had a couple of issues here and there, he was definitely really gifted, and I learned so much in that year, not just from Tom but from David as well. And yeah, it was a great experience for me. And it just kind of, after that, I wanted to obviously act. And all my friends were going to, go out and, do auditions and stuff. But I just kept playing the part of, terrorist number 2, and I don't want that, like at least terrorist number 1, because there's more money. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And then I found YouTube. So I used to love making, small little videos in my bedroom, not those obviously videos, and just kind of just edit them up and just kind of, have fun with them. So they were just like, oh, why don't you, put something on YouTube? And I think my first ever thing that I did was, it was called The Chronicles of Dottu. It was like some really funny, weird, stupid thing that I made. It's just 5 parts. It wasn't for anyone. I literally just made it and put it out there just so I know, oh, I can, edit a production together, and it's just me messing around with the camera, but it was a lot of fun. It's still up. Yeah. And then after that, I said, all right, let me make something now that that can appeal to other people and that can get, get someone's attention, like whether it's a casting agent or a director or someone who can point me in the right direction. Let me make something that could hopefully, spread a bit and maybe, sorry, I think I spat beer when I said that.
That's right.
Spread is a hard word. And I kind of, I made this thing called Diary of a Bad Man. I never put it out, but my friends, when they would come and they would try to catch me out, see what porn I'm watching, never find anything because clear history and that. But then they would come across Diary of a Bad Man and they were like, oh, why don't you put this out? And I was like, oh, no, I don't know if that's the one. But they were like, no, just do it. You've made it now. So I put it out there and then everything just changed. It was like overnight. It was the craziest experience ever. It's like in the first 24 hours, I got 5,000 views, which back then was, I was like A-lister now, like Tom Cruise, Will Smith, me, same thing. And then it just grew to 20,000. Next day it was like 30,000. The next day it was like 45 and then 60. And then I was like, I have to make another one. Made another one straight away, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Made the third one, started getting into the millions. And, and that's kind of where... And it was so funny as well, because as I said, I was just trying to get one person's attention that could help me. But what I didn't realize was YouTube was actually going to create a brand, allow me to create my own brand.
Sure.
And that's why I will always say, no matter how much mainstream stuff I do, to me, YouTube is probably the most important in my heart anyway. And I have a great relationship with YouTube and they've really, I believe, helped me so much through my career. And that's why I always kind of do my part to, whether it's just being an ambassador or whatever else, I always try to kind of represent YouTube as best as I can. Because I feel that if it wasn't for them, for a brown, Asian, Pakistani, Muslim trying to get onto TV when there's only 4 or 5 big channels out there, and the stuff that they put out with the people they cast and choose, I mean, it was just going to be super hard for me to ever achieve my dream. And luckily, YouTube came along and I was allowed to create my own content and kind of create my, basically make my dream into a reality. Just create content and put it out on a channel. And, and getting people to watch it. What's the difference between that and TV?
Sure.